for all its inconveniences, Lang was satisfied with life in the high-rise, ready to move forward and explore life. How exactly? He had not yet decided.
Guys, lovely to meet you. High Rise is not what I ever expected to see you guys in. Obviously, we know you from like The Hobbit and Burnt and American Sniper. So I went in thinking, it might be a quite mainstream film, and it was not in my eyes at all. So I am really intrigued to see what made you want to do it in the first place.
I'm a huge fan of Ben Wheatley and think he's one of the most exciting and talented directors that we have in this country. So I think I would have probably gone to make the tea on a set of his. Jeremy Thomas, who produced it, is really one of the last great producers in terms of the choices he makes, the films that he backs. I love Ballard, I love the cast. It's, it was a mad experience, but you really get to experience and feel something that I don't think we'll ever feel again, really, being in that world.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, the whole package, I just ticked a lot of boxes before I even picked up the script. I was already, my senses were being tickled by the idea of working with, people like Tom and Sienna and working with Ben. He has this wonderful reputation in such a small career so far, with a small body of work. People are, talking about him and respect what he's doing and see that he's taking a different route to everybody else. And to be on a film set with him as an actor was a real gift. It was really enjoyable, and he's such a lovely man, and he cuts his own
proper artist,
path, which is nice to see, and was refreshing, I think, for all of us at this point. So,
I do think this is a particularly great film from him. I thought it came off really well, and you're looking very different today, obviously, to how we see you in the film.
A little less hair.
Absolutely. Works both ways. Obviously, in the high rise, they have everything. They have the pool, the supermarket. Do you think you would ever like to live in a place where you didn't have to leave?
Can't think of anything worse. But they exist in New York and LA. They have
completely.
They have buildings now where they have everything. They've got the gym, the supermarket.
They don't have to leave. Yeah, food is delivered, and
it reminds me of what's that cartoon where everyone's going around in those fat chairs?
Wally.
Wally.
It
feels like that.
Yeah.
A more grown-up Wally.
Yeah,
sure.
I can't think of anything worse. But and I think people will start to go mad, and the social ramifications of being in that environment. I mean, it really is a feasible future. When he wrote this book,
well, it was 75 when he wrote this book. So the face of London was changing dramatically. It was just before Thatcher came into power, and high-rises were still this fantasy existence of living, and they were being built on the outskirts. Peckham had its first one, and all these different things were being built. And you see one near Notting Hill, the one it's actually
the Trellick Tower.
Yeah, the Trellick Tower.
Gorgeous. I love that building.
It'll never be knocked down because it's so special and an important part of British architectural history. So all of this was going on in his mind when he wrote it, and to a lot of people that was probably an amazing idea, to have a view out of a window, more than just the opposite side of the street. You could see over the houses, maybe further afield, and that, when you've lived on the ground for a very long time, must have been quite exciting. But then you take into account all the other things that
who's
nowadays,
up, who's below.
Like you said, in New York, that happens all the time, and so he was foretelling the future in a way, wasn't he? He's very mad and crazy.
He had a real ability to do that. Very prophetic.
I did wonder, though, whether you guys ever feel like you're living in a high-rise, going from hotel to hotel. You're kind of in a hotel room just today. It's not a lot of time when you're doing this kind of thing. You're not leaving a huge amount.
Do you ever make that you do have that feeling? It's
thanks for reminding us. Yeah.
A windowless room.
Is it sunny outside?
No.
Tell us what it's like.
You're not missing anything. You're not missing anything, trust me.
I think we get quite a good balance, don't we?
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, we're fine. I have taken some time off, so I'm in the midst of a nice break. Well earned.
Yeah.
Granted. But,
it's all about a good balance, I think. You can't have too many hotel rooms before you're actually there for
because you do start to lose it.
Well, you are a very friendly neighbour, Sienna, in the film to start off with
very friendly, generous,
very touchy, very handsy.
Are
you?
What kind of neighbours are you? You in real life, do you like to keep yourselves to yourselves, or are you kind of in your face, or you're just like a quiet hello?
I don't get stuck in.
Well, when I first moved in, I had a lot of parties just to celebrate the fact I owned a house for the first time in my life, and I had lots of people. I had a nice garden. It was the summer. They didn't like that. They weren't very happy with it. But I've warmed them up now. They're all very nice. Send them Christmas cards, and they're all very kind. My next door neighbour is awesome. He looks after the house when I'm not there. And so. Yeah.
I moved in and got pregnant, so I've been an angelic neighbour.
Oh, they love you.
Subsequent have a child, so there's no noise, no nothing. We're in bed by 8.
Oh, wow.
But I'm not too. I mean, I'm friendly, but I'm not taking people's sugar and cakes.
No.
Got enough on my plate.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, you sound like me. I just...
Yeah, I'm
nice to have
you
it.
know, but yeah.
Exactly. Let's quickly talk about Tom, because he's a great lead in this. And I know from having interviewed him before, the Hiddleston fans are very... I mean, crazy in love with him. I think I touched his hands in the junket, not in a weird way. It came up.
You touched his hands?
Yes, and they went crazy.
Oh,
and
you touched him?
Yes.
Well, he has miraculous powers.
But
he's like Jesus.
Yeah. What was it like having him on set? You know, he's so intense about this film as well.
He's incredibly focused and was really took charge of galvanizing everyone and being a leader of it. You know, he was in every frame pretty much, and is just the sweetest, as I'm sure you've experienced. The sweetest, most lovely man.
He commits everything.
100%. So focused.
Yeah, and it's nice to see. You know, it's a man who has a lot of talent and chooses his characters and roles very carefully and puts everything into them. And
you wouldn't know that he had this incredible fan base. He's a very normal, sweet, relatable man.
But they're mad. Yeah.
And how did you keep things light on set? Because it was so intense when I was watching it, and I was just thinking, God, when you get off set, you must just want to kind of let loose a bit.
Drink.
Yeah, that was.
I drank a lot.
We did.
We were all
living in the same hotel, and we were all staying all day, every day in these caravans in a car park by the set in case we were used. And we were a real troupe. Okay. We were a really very close group.
We had a beautiful hotel on the top of a mountain. It was like the top of a hill that overlooked the coast.
The sea, in Belfast.
And every night, we'd just go and sit in the bar, and some people knew when to go to bed, and others ended up serving themselves till the early hours of the morning.
No, it stayed open 24 hours. I mean, I had my daughter there.
But we made it. No.
We went 70s on it.
Decompressing. When you're in a high rise, and we were inside a very old, broken down sports centre, which had plunge pools, and the squash courts were turned into the apartments. You know, you felt a little caged inside, and that was great because it gave you the feeling of what we were trying to create. But when you left in the evening, for me, because I was just so crazy in most of the film.
He went full method on this one.
Just, to decompress at the end of the day, you had to sort of try and forget what you've done and remember who you are.
Well, just to finish, because it is such a heavy film, what happy message would you say to people after coming out of the cinema to kind of just cheer them up and say, this maybe isn't our future? What would you say to them? Because I came out and was like,
I don't want to say anything. I want them to feel it.
No,
I mean, I think it's a really interesting take on the world that we're creating. And yes, it was written in the 70s, but it's a lot about our future. And I think people should sit with the misery and the confusion and the thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, there's also, then there are funny moments. It's not all misery and maudlin tales, but I think what I found and what people that I've shown the movie to, that my friends and family, they've plucked humanity out of it from different parts of the story and different characters, and you see just elements of who you are. And I think what it does is it presses your buttons and it makes you think and question, like you said.
And that's great.
That's what storytelling's about. It's about taking you somewhere and making you think a little differently.
Well, hey, I hope everyone enjoys it, guys. I think you did a great job with it.
Thanks so much.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you.